It's Sunday, yay! And woo! We get to worship God again. This is so amazing. This is so great. As you guys know, a few of our college students are at the airport or on their way to the airport right now, going to America to study. Yay for them! So please make sure that you keep them in your prayers. They're excited and a little bit worried and things like that. So it'd be great if we can support them through our prayers. Also, they're in our Kakao Talk room, so maybe you could send them a message or something like that of encouragement. Not right now, later after service is over. You guys can do that. When my daughter was like 2 years old, 2.5, maybe between 2.5 and 3 years old, when we were in the car and we're driving, she would just spontaneously, randomly say, "Carry you," like that, right? We're like, "Carry you? What is she saying?" Because she couldn't speak a word of English, right? I mean, she could barely speak at all at that age, but she couldn't speak any English, but she would say, "Carry you, carry," like clearly, "Carry you." And for years, me and my wife could not figure out why she said that. She must have heard it somewhere. She must have, somehow, somewhere. Anyway, years later, I figured it out. It was the song, "Give thanks to the Lord, our God and King," because there's a verse that says, "By the grace of God, you will carry on." She heard that as "carry you," right, in her baby age years, and so she would say, "Carry you," but it was, "By the grace of God, you'll carry on." And so I felt so smart after figuring it out many years later. That song was from a cassette tape that I bought for my wife when we were dating. It's Shout to the Lord Kids, the best kids worship album you've ever had. Shout to the Lord Kids, look it up. Not right now, after service, okay? Shout to the Lord Kids. Make your babies listen to it. Make sure your kids listen to it. It's the best. I love it because it's kids and adults singing together. Shout to the Lord Kids. The original one, not the other ones. The original one, Shout to the Lord Kids. It's adults and kids singing together. And the thing that I like so much about it is that the adults in the team, they take it so seriously. I mean, it's a bunch of kids, right? And so you would think, if I think of like old Korean like worship, kids worship things, it's basically a synthesizer, right? And maybe an electric drum or something like that. But they take it so seriously. Like they're singing with the kids, and the kids sing the melody, and the adults sing the harmony. It's so good, yeah. And it'd be great if our babies heard it when they're young, okay? And maybe someday they'll be in the car going, "Carry you." It's so cute. Anyway, one of my favorite memories, okay, not favorite, but one of the things that I remember as being really good was when I was in 3rd grade in elementary school, a friend of mine had his birthday party at McDonald's. Dude, he had his birthday party at McDonald's. This is like what, 1983, 1982? And so this is like, from my perspective, it was only rich people who can do this, right? Rich people who can bring all his friends to a McDonald's, and the parents buy all the hamburgers, and I remember having a cheeseburger and blueberry milkshake. We don't have those anymore. We had them back then. Blueberry milkshake. And I remember thinking, wow, this guy's so rich. He had this little party hat and everything, and we all sang happy birthday and stuff like that. And I looked at him and I thought, how happy he must be, right? But for me, it was, wow, I get to have a McDonald's cheeseburger and a blueberry shake and fries, and I was so happy. And I thought, at that time, man, this is like the best thing that could ever happen to me. It's like the best thing to have a friend who's rich enough to invite his friends over to McDonald's for his birthday. Of course, afterwards, after that, there are many other things that were better than that, right? But at the time, I thought, wow, it can't get any better than this, right? A year later, in 4th grade, it was a rainy day, and the teacher, our 4th grade teacher, no, 6th grade. It was 6th grade. In 6th grade, the teacher, Mrs. Inoda, she said, hey guys, next week on Friday, whatever, for lunch, we're going to buy lunch from McDonald's and we're going to bring it to school, right? So then everybody brings some money next week for McDonald's. And for some reason, my dad gave me a $5 bill. 5 entire dollars. Okay, cheeseburgers cost like 39 cents at the time, okay? 49 cents, so it's a big deal. $5, right? And so then I gave it to the teacher. She said, okay, what do you guys want? And I remember ordering a Big Mac and chicken McNuggets, right? And Coke and all these things. And this was so much better than the cheeseburger and the blueberry shake and the fries. So a few years later, I experienced something that was much better than that. And I thought, man, I can't be happier than this. My dad gave me a whole $5 for McDonald's for lunch. Of course, many years later, when I was in college, this is the most McDonald's I've ever eaten in one sitting. I had 2 Big Macs. I was by myself too, and I almost never eat by myself. I had 2 Big Macs because it was 2 for $2. So you have to get 2, right? So I had 2 Big Macs, a 20-piece chicken McNuggets, right? A filet-o-fish, right? Large fries, 2 apple pies because it was 2 for $1. So 2 apple pies, and of course a Diet Coke, right? And so this is so much better than, so you kind of see what I'm saying, where there's a situation I thought, man, this is so good. It can't get better than this. But I realized, no, there is something better than this, and I can do it. It could go from event to event. It could go from year to year. And it could go from like certain time periods in our life, right? Some of us, we think, oh, my elementary school years, those are the best, right? But then it turns out that my secondary school years were actually better, right? And then it turns out that my college years were a lot better. And then it turns out after I got married and had kids, man, that's so good. What about just life as a whole? What's after this? After this life that we live? I know there are tough times, right? Difficult times. There are hardships and sufferings and things like that. But there are so many things that we enjoy about life. So many things that we, and I realized one of the things that I enjoy the most is just going somewhere with my family, right? Going on a trip with my family. Doesn't matter really where it is, as long as we're together and we're stuck in the car for hours together. I love that. It's so amazing. I also really, really enjoy just sitting down and having coffee with someone and just talking for hours, just drinking coffee and just talking about this and that, and it's just so fun, right? There are a lot of things in life to enjoy. Is this the best there is? Is this it, right? And I've talked about this, I believe, at least a couple of times within this context with all of you guys about, yeah, things might be good now, but man, wait till we get to see God face to face, right? Man, just wait until we get there when Jesus returns. How amazing that's going to be. How great that's going to be. I remember talking to you about how a lot of times we struggle so much in this life. We suffer so much in this life. We try so hard to make life good right now because a lot of times we think this is it. Like after this life, it's over. So since I only have this one life, I have to make it as pleasurable as possible, as convenient as possible, as exciting as possible, as eventful as possible, as fulfilling as possible. Right? Because we think this is it. This is my one life, my one chance to live life. And so I have to make it the best possible. So like going to church every Sunday and missing out on, playing with my friends or, those things that we kind of give up in life in order to do our spiritual things. We think, that's too 아까워. No, I can't. I only live this one, right? And then certain opportunities, we think we only have that one chance. Certain things we think, I only have that one chance. And I don't want to miss out. And then when we miss out, we get so sad and we get so depressed because we think that this life is it. This is it. This is as good as it gets, and there's nothing better than this. And I remember telling you guys or reminding you guys, this isn't the best. No matter how amazingly, fantastically great and perfect you might create this life, it's nothing compared to what's coming. So that, have some 여유, right? Have some, what's 여유 in English in this context? It's not luxury. Have some... Let it go, right? It's not that big of a deal in this life because there's so much more coming in the future. And I wanted to talk about that again today. 1 John chapter 3. Everyone turn to 1 John chapter 3. Verse 1. It says this. In the 1984 version of the NIV, it says, how great is the love the Father has lavished on us, right? If you read the ESV or the NASB, it'll say, see or behold, right? Take a look, see, behold. Look at what? How great is the love the Father has lavished on us. Not given to us, not handed to us, not shown us, but lavished on us. And how did God lavish this love on us? How did he do it? That we should be called children of God. And that is what we are. We are children of God. Did you guys know this? There can't be anything better than this in life than to know that I am a child of God, that the creator of the universe is my Father. The thing is, when we're worshiping God or when we're reading or praying or when we're spending time just being blessed by God, we remember it and we feel so good. But when we're at school or when we're at work, right? When we're doing work, when we're out in the world doing things that we do, a lot of times we forget. We forget how much better my situation is, my identity is as a Christian, as a child of God, than these other people who do their things, who live their lives. We look at Instagram and we think their life is so perfect. We think that their friends are so beautiful and their food is so yummy looking and how I have to go to church every Sunday, but these people, they go to baseball games, they go to they do all these things and it just seems so wonderful, it seems so fun, and maybe it is. But when we do that, we forget, wait a minute though, time out. I'm a child of God. There's nothing better than that. All the worries and concerns and the striving and the struggling that these people go through, I don't have to go through that. All the weight of the world on the shoulders of these people who have no God, who have no Almighty Father to trust in, to believe in. They don't have that. I have that. But sometimes when I see other people doing their things, I forget. I remember, you guys know that I used to do a radio show, right? I had a radio show on the Christian radio station. I was a radio show host. I was a DJ. I was all these things. After a few months of working at the radio station, I got to know some of the other radio show DJs and hosts and things like this. And there was this one woman who was a Christian singer at the time. She was pretty popular. She was a fairly popular Christian artist, right? Music artist. She was a singer, and she had her own show on Sunday afternoons, right? And whenever I had time, I would listen to that program on Sunday afternoons. She's such a wonderful singer and such a wonderful Christian, a great role model for Christian artists, and I used to love that show. And I remember one day after I got to meet her, right? But when I met her, she was I'm thinking, oh, I'm meeting like a celebrity, right? And so I'm like, oh, I get to meet a celebrity. But it was the other way around. She's saying, oh, I finally get to meet this guy who has this daily radio show program at our radio station, right? This popular guy and so she kind of thought that way about me. And here's what happened. I remember once, after many months of doing my radio program, I was listening to her program on a Sunday afternoon after church, and then I decided to call her program. Do people still do that? Do they call radio stations? So I decided to call and request a song, right? And so now I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna get it. You call, but they don't answer, right? And then I called, and then they answered. And then I got connected, right, with her. Now, I see her at the radio station. Okay, I see her. We're co-workers in the same company, right? And so I have access to her. She gives me all her CDs, right? Do you got CDs? You know what they are, right? So she would autograph her CDs, and she would give me her CDs and stuff like that. But on this one day, I called the radio show, and then she answered, and then she said, "Oh, what's your name and where are you from?" And then I was telling her da da da. She goes, "Oh, Pastor Philip," and I said, "Yeah." And then I said, "Oh, can I hear this song?" And I requested a song, and she goes, "Oh, sure." And I said, "Oh, I'm so excited," because I was so excited. I saw her at the radio station a little while later, and I said, "Oh, it was so fun, right? Calling you, and you played my song, and da 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 da." And she said to me, "You're a radio show host. You have your own daily program, right?" She only does it once on Sunday afternoon. I have a daily program. I have a lot more listeners. I have a lot, in a sense, even though she's this popular Christian singer and stuff like that, when it comes to the radio programming and things like that, I'm more than she is, right? But the thing is, when I called her, I was so excited in the moment that I forgot. Well, wait a minute. I have my own radio show. In fact, people call me all the time. They request songs from me all the time. They send me postcards, telling me how wonderful they think I am and, all that stuff, like fan mail, right? They send it to me all the time. And here I am, so excited that I got to talk to her. I forget. When we see people in this world doing certain things, appearing to be a certain way, enjoying certain things, we forget. Wait a minute. I mean, that's all great. Yay, you went fishing. Yay, you went on a trip. Yay, you ate yummy food. Oh, yay, you I don't know, did whatever. But I'm a child of God. Nothing can beat that. Nothing's better than that. And so John says, "Look, behold, see how wonderful it is that God would lavish his love for us." And what is this love? This love is giving me an identity that I don't deserve. Giving me all of the privileges that come with being a child of God. And that is what we are. The second half of verse 1. The reason the world does not know us is that it did not know him. Right? And that's the thing. And that's one of the reasons why it's difficult being a Christian, because I know who I am. I know that I'm a child of God. We recognize one another, but the world doesn't, right? You know, a lot of the qualities that we have as Christians, right? Patience, kindness, right? Mercy. Other things that we know are important because we believe in God, like loyalty, right? There are these qualities that we have that we try to portray, display, that the world does not recognize as being valuable. Right? In fact, the world will say, you're wasting your time. The world will say, oh, you're just losing out on things if you do that. The world will say, you don't get satisfaction if you're like that, right? You'll never get ahead in life. You'll never get promoted. You'll never accumulate a lot of things if you display those kinds of qualities in your day-to-day life. They don't recognize it. Why do they not recognize the value of the characteristics that we display? Because they don't recognize God. Verse 2, dear friends, now we are children of God, and what we will be has not yet been made known. Right? What John is saying is this: we have right now a taste of what it's like to be a child of God. Those times when I am full of God's blessings and grace in my life. Those times when I see God providing for me, when I see God forgiving me, when I see God encouraging me and strengthening me, when I see God giving me joy and peace that the world cannot comprehend. When I have those things, that's just a taste of what is to come. The Bible says, and what we will be in the future has not yet been made known. But we know that when he appears, when Jesus comes, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. Just another reminder for all of us today that, yeah, there are a lot of good things to enjoy in life. It's God's creation, right? So there are a lot of things in this world that we can enjoy, that we can say, wow, this is from the Lord. This is from God. God is so good. Right? You guys saw my Kakao Talk picture that I sent. I was walking after the Friday night prayer, and I was walking right outside at Respia. And as I was walking, this big, fat, full moon was like looking straight at me. And I was like, doom, right? Here's the thing. There were these three ajumas, three ladies who had just, I think, played tennis or some kind of sport or something. And then they were walking in the same direction that I was walking, right? Where the skate, the inline skate track is, that area. So it's pretty dark in that area. So you could really see the moon. And you could really see, and I was like, whoa. And these ladies walked down, and as they were walking, one of them said, oh, hey, look at the moon. Yeah, hey, is it a full moon today? Oh, yeah. And then they just kept on going down to the tunnel. And I'm like, ladies, this is so amazing. This is so great. This is so beautiful. This is God's creation. This is God telling me. You guys remember, teachers, what happened that afternoon? That morning, actually, we had a CSIS teachers fun time retreat, and we had a game, and one of the games was, what do you identify with better? And there were two things, and you had to choose one or the other, right? And one of them was, do you consider yourself more like the sun or more like the moon? And I chose the moon, right? It was that day. It was Friday. I chose the moon. And then Friday night, after Friday night prayer, I was walking down, and there's the moon. There's God telling me, that's right. You're right. And these ladies, they just kind of, oh yeah, is it full moon today? And then they just kind of, no. Well, I'm just mesmerized by God's love, by God's goodness and mercy. And it's great to do that, and it's wonderful, but that's not the best there is. it gets better. It gets better. And when Jesus returns, I've shared this before. You know, when he returns, I know some of you guys are going to be like so happy. Some of you guys are going to be like, oh, so excited. Jesus, finally, you're here. And things like that. I'm pretty sure when Jesus returns, I'm just going to break down and cry. Not because I'm sad, but because I'm going to be so overwhelmed. Finally. After all of this, lots of good stuff, but a lot of hardships too, right? A lot of suffering too. And not just for me, but for my parents and a lot of the people that I know, right? Faithful Christians throughout the ages who gave their lives to Christ. Finally, he's here and I can finally go home. I think I'm going to be overwhelmed. I'm just going to break down and cry. It gets better. It gets so much better. So I want to encourage you guys, right? Other people in this world, they'll enjoy things. They'll have good things happening to them and things like that. That's fine. Good for them. Yay, right? But I'm a child of God. And I live this life with all the privileges that come with being the child of God, right? And while everything on this earth that everyone else experiences and has and accumulates and whatever will end, for me, it's not going to end. It's going to get better. Much better. That's the hope with which I live this life, and I want to encourage you guys, let's live life like that. Let's live it like that. I know other people are richer than you. They look happier than you. They're definitely taller than you and better looking than you and have more skills than you have. And, you know, that's great. I don't look down on it. That's great. That's wonderful. But that doesn't diminish what I have in Christ. I want to encourage you guys. How great, behold, see, how great is the love the Father has lavished on us that we should be called children of God. And that is what we are. The reason the world does not know us is that it did not know him. Dear friends, now we are children of God, and what we will be has not yet been made known. But we know that when he appears, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. I look forward to that day. I look forward to meeting Jesus with all of you, hand in hand. It's going to be awesome. Let's pray. Let's spend a moment reflecting on how good it is that we are considered children of God, that God adopted us into his family. We were fatherless. We had no future, no hope. We had no purpose in life. We followed the things of the world because that's all we knew. We thought that the things in this world were all there was, that nothing could be better than the pursuit of money and fame and companionship, the pursuit of significance. We thought that was all there was, but now we know that as children of God, we have so much more. Let's reflect on that, and let's develop a heart of gratitude to God. God, thank you. Thank you so much that I am your child. Help me not to be envious of the things of this world, but help me to recognize more and more every day what I have in you. And when life is tough, help us to remember it gets so much better than this. And that when we see you face to face, all of the struggles and the imperfections of this world will be behind us. And we will be like Jesus when we see him face to face. Let's thank the Lord for these things. Let's spend a couple of moments just with the Lord in prayer. Let's pray.